Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, because I want to put the right information out there from the people who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so you can take all of that, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business, in your life. It's one of the many, many reasons why I proudly fly this American flag behind me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. All right. Happy Freight Friday. Let's get it, you guys. I might have to pause the live show here in the middle of it because I got some freight moving this morning, and, you know, we got some stuff. We had to add some product on. We're waiting for the other PO and everything to come through. So if my customer calls in, I got to take that, you guys. You guys know how it is. And that's why you guys come in and listen to this show, because I'm in the day-to-day with you guys. I'm out here building this shit up with you. I'm not just talking about this stuff, you guys. I'm living the life and building my brokerage, and we're making it all happen. And but before we go any further, you guys, as always, got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or shipper, we all need access to trailers. And on top of that, we all like making money, right? Because that's what you get with VHub. When you get on there and you get into one of the repositionings, you guys, you get paid to move these trailers. So what they're working on right now is Lafayette, Indiana, going to Lake City, Florida. You get $420 US for that move. They also have Fontana going to Springdale, Arkansas, and you get $1080 US to do that. They have San Bernardino. Oh, I missed one of the graphics there, but they also have San Bernardino, California, going out to Columbus, Ohio. You get $990 to do that. And then they have this one down here, this reefer trailer out in Lebanon, Illinois, going up to Fridley, Minnesota, my old stomping grounds. You get $450 Canadian on that one. And then they have Evansville, Wisconsin, going to Mississauga, Ontario. You get $500 Canadian for that. And then finally, Parkland, Florida, going to Milton, Ontario, and you get 1,000 Canadian to do that, you guys. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My man, Zach Lonergan, and my friend Stacy Steen will be in the audience. Just do me a favor. Let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Mike Mikulek, good to see you back here, man. It's been a couple of weeks, you guys. Mike's with SPI Logistics. That's where my brokerage is through, you guys. I'm an independent agent for SPI. Hit him up, you guys. You guys want to take control of your financial future? You guys want to go after your dreams and everything? They literally have a full suite of everything ready for you guys to go in. And on top of it, you guys, you get paid really quick too. Like I got a direct deposit this morning from them. That's how quick you get paid. You don't have to worry about that stuff. They send a nice little itemized invoice with you as well, showing everything. It's all completely transparent. The technology's top notch, and it just makes it so much easier for me to go in and focus on my customers and servicing my customers and my carrier partners on there, you guys. Hit him up. Hit up Mike with SPI. Corey, what is up? TGIF to you as well. Tracy St. Clair, good morning. Watching over on YouTube. Adolfo Rodriguez, buenos dias. Let's go. It's Freight Friday. You are right. Cole Mikulek, what's up, brother? Good to see you, Cole. Thanks for tuning in, man. And we got my man over there on YouTube. Good morning, CDN Freight Broker. He's also an agent with SPI as well, and he may or may not be coming on the podcast soon. Just throwing that out there. It says make the most of today, booking loads for today and next week. Friday are key for freight broker agents. Very true. It is. Every day of the week is very key, but especially Fridays, right? Because this is the day of the week that most people just want to go home, right? They don't want to deal with freight today. They want to go, you know, it might be one of the last weekends that you can get out there on a golf course for most of the country. You know, you got all that fun stuff happening. Snow's going to start flying and everything else. But, you know, this is the time when the opportunities really start to present themselves, right? Also, you guys, today is Q&A day. I got a couple of people who DM'd me. But if you have any questions you want answered, drop them in the chat. I will answer them live on the show. That's what this show is all about for Fridays. I decided a couple months back that throughout the week with the amount of DMs and stuff that come through, it's just easier to jump on and dedicate a show for it so we can answer everybody's questions. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat right now. I will answer them live. All right, back to Cody Kaler. What is up, dog? Finish strong Friday. There's no downtime in this business. That's right, man. And that's true. And all these opportunities that come about, are never going to come in the form of like, oh, hey, it's going to come across at a perfect time. It's going to be a first come, first serve shipper, first come, first serve receiver, 24/7, 20,000 pounds, and it's going to pay $1 million, right? That's just not the way it works in this industry. You're going to be out there fighting and clawing for those opportunities. And, that's the way it should be though, right? Every opportunity that you have that comes across should be worked for. You should have to put forth that effort, because I personally look at it like this. You appreciate things a hell of a lot more when you got to work for it, right? When you're out there, you're making your sales trips, your calls, you're doing everything in your power to get that one opportunity. It's the way it should be, right? I don't know why, I don't know if it's just a society thing or not, but I don't know why the message out there is that this is an easy industry. This no business is easy, right? It doesn't matter what industry it is, whether it's in freight or not. It's not an easy road. You have to fight for everything that comes on out there, and I don't know how that's got lost, right? And that's one of the questions that I had gotten here on the DMs this week is it's like, hey, I've been making a bunch of cold calls, but I'm not getting any progress. I'm not getting any traction here. Why? And it was, at first every time I see a message like that, like I get the frustration, right? Like I'm no genius when it comes to entrepreneurship or anything like that. Here's one thing I do know though, is I don't know fucking anything, and I'm learning every single day. But to get to that question of like, I'm not getting any traction with it. I think that first and foremost, you just haven't been doing it long enough, right? Like I've been pretty much cold calling and cold emailing and doing all of this stuff to try and add customers for going on the last 10 months, right? We got started late last year, but we spent the first couple of months in our business really laying the foundation of building out a training platform and building out a lot of stuff that we're going to use in the future. And then this year is when we really hit the ground running on prospecting and selling and everything. And we've added some customers, right? We're moving freight. We're moving freight almost every single day now. And it took a long time, right? And I didn't know what this individual's industry experience was, whether they've been doing this for a week or what. But I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, right? I've been doing this for, going on 13 years now. And it takes so much longer than you think in the moment, right? Because like when you get started, when you start making cold calls, when you start calling, like you just think that you're going to be a millionaire fucking tomorrow, right? And that's just not further from the truth. And it just takes so much time to really, and I think that that's the first thing that you need to think of it right away is I just haven't been doing this long enough yet. And because that's probably the reality of it, is you just haven't been doing it long enough yet. On top of that, what does your pitch look like? Because this is another thing that people have a hard time with, is their pitch might be dog shit, right? What value are you adding into there? Like, how are you calling people? Are you calling them to find out more about their business? Or are you calling them because you know everything about their product? You have a pretty solid understanding of what their distribution or their lanes look like and everything. And you're just calling to introduce yourself, right? Because that's really every time I reach out to somebody, I'm just trying to establish myself as a viable option. Because the reality is most people are good, right? Right now, especially, most people are good with their current network. But you know what? Everybody's good with their current network until they're not. And I want to be a viable option for them for when they have to reach out. Because, and how do I become a viable option? I don't ever ask the question, let me find out more about your business. I research every single person before I even reach out to them, right? Every single company I'm going to their, and when I say like, it doesn't take that long, right? I go to their website, I look at their about section, I look at all of their products. I know an idea of where all of their locations are and stuff like that. And then I go in there and speak to them about their shipping, right? I go in there and talk to them about their distribution network and everything. And here's what I focus on: the intangibles about their freight. Um, and because I specialize in open deck and heavy haul transportation. We also do dry van freight. I got a load of pipe picking up right now, to be exact. But um, those are all who I go after, and I do that mainly because we're the best open deck broker in the United States. Freight Coach Logistics. That's just who we are. That's just what we do. All right, you're not going to convince me any differently of that. But I do that because I want to have the exact same conversations time and time again. I even break it down to like specific commodities for the days of the week that I'm reaching out. Like if I'm going to reach out to precast concrete manufacturers, that's all I'm reaching out to that day. And it's because the repetition, right? I want to have that same conversation time and time again. If it's pipe, if it's construction equipment, or if it's building materials, I go after that specifically because in the event that somebody responds or picks up the phone and everything, I want to have the same conversation, right? And that's what I do, is because I want to stand out in a crowd. There are 20 some thousand freight brokers. I don't know what the fucking number is out there. How do I stand out in the crowd? And preparedness is everything, right? And I know I had mentioned this earlier this week, and you guys saw me when I went live. I was out in northern Arizona. I was meeting prospects and everything. I was prepared for every single one of them. I had a page of notes ready to go in there and talk to them about their operation and ask them specific pointed questions in regard to their operation to really gear the conversation for me to identify where is the greatest opportunity out there. And because I can't go in there and be like, hey, what's your greatest opportunity? Where do you need my help? No. That's not it at all. You have to have pointed questions. You have to be prepared, and you have to really go forward with that, right? And just be prepared for all of this stuff. Don't go in there blind. That doesn't work. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not that good. I need to be very much on top of this stuff and ready to go to make and to really be ready for any possible questions that the shipper might be throwing at me. Because that's one thing that you don't really think about when you're going down to a sales calls. Well, what if they might ask questions? I want to be prepared for those too, right? I want to be prepared for those. So that's what I would do. I think that for your answer of you've been doing this and you haven't gotten any traction yet, my initial response, my initial thought is you just haven't been doing it long enough. But B, you need to look at your pitch, right? I'm constantly reassessing this stuff. Just like every single time we move a shipment, I'm constantly dissecting that to find out where can we get 1% better every single time. Let me see here. Angel, good to see you again. Good morning to you. Cody Miller, what's up, dude? Morning, freight enthusiasts. J-Man493, favorite freight forwarder in the industry. I mean, dude, I don't import a lot of stuff out there. I know that from my perspective, some of the Canadian shipments that I've moved in particular, Cole International, they've been pretty sweet out there to deal with as well. I'm sure some of my friends who watch the show are freight forwarders. And if you are, drop that information in there from my man J-Man here. Mike Mikulik says quality prospecting over quantity. Shippers know when you're not prepared and winging it. Amen to that. Amen to that. Cody, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Chris Brewer, what's up, dog? This is another guy you guys need to follow for freight sales. This dude is out there. He lives this life. He's building this company. This guy loves freight more than anybody that I've ever met in my life. And he says shippers know immediately what they have in a carrier who is prospecting them from the first 2 to 3 touches. They can read through the scripts and they can identify the true professionals who reach out. And that is very true. That is very true, you guys. I can't, I just think that preparedness is everything. It's the most overlooked thing because everybody, it's the convenience factor of like, oh, I'll just wing it when I get in there. I prepare for that every single time, 100 times out of 100, even if it's the first email that I have sent out. And yeah, I have you could call it a script, but like I have some key points in there that I insert that I could only know by doing research on that company and in finding that information out there. All right, let me see here. J-Man has another question. And let me see here. Thoughts on the market with the strikes moving into Q4. I am an optimistic realist 24/7, 365, J-Man. I think that there's always an opportunity out there no matter what. How do I know that? It's because every time you onboard a shipper, that opportunity came in the form of somebody else dropping the ball from that. But I personally think that the market is going, it's going to be a typical Q4 push here for freight, right? I think that there's going to be a seasonal push out there. Um, I think that it's going to taper off and then Q1 is going to be slow. I really do. I think Q1 is going to be a typical Q1. But with that being said, I think Q2 of next year is when the fire is going to be breathed into the market and the market is going to officially be signs of flipping. Um, I'm saying that based on the freight that I'm moving right now, the opportunities that I'm seeing that are now presenting themselves that weren't presenting themselves a few months back. Um, a couple of my customers, their freight volume's increasing right now in a non-seasonal fashion, where they're not in season right now, but their freight is starting to shift, becoming available. And I say that as this is when a lot of people start to, reject some of that freight out there, right? There's some people who think that people who only move 2 shipments a week or 4 shipments a day aren't worth their time when markets start to change. And this is why it's like for smaller and J-Man 493, I don't know how big your organization is or if you're a driver or not. I think that this is when a lot of those companies start rejecting a lot of that freight because their higher volume shippers are starting to move stuff. And then they're going to shift their focus on there because these little guys aren't necessarily worth our time, might be the mindset. And this is where, if you're out there prospecting, this is where it is 1000% worth your time to continue to go out there and get that dedicated business out there because, some individuals look at, company sizes and they're like, it's not worth their time to move any of that freight because it's too slow. But it's like, man, I'll take anything, right? The small to mid-sized market is my jam at the end of the day. Those are the shippers I want to work with. Yeah, we have enterprise accounts that we're set up with and everything. And I love any and all business that we can get, right? But the small to mid-sized market, in my opinion, is the one that is the most underserved. And I think that that's where the greatest opportunity is going to lie in that. So, and especially if you are a small fleet, right? Like right now, man, I think that there's so many more shippers that want that dedicated, and I would say they want the dedicated trucks, the small trucks, the fleets, the owner ops. They want those carriers to come inside of their doors, right? But it's got to be, you got to be out there selling. You got to have a sales force, and your drivers are that sales force. Get in front of as many people as possible. That's my real thoughts on the market. I think the strikes, in regard to that, the strikes are to be determined. I really do. I think that a lot of these larger companies that, like I know the Auto Worker Union, I saw just a quick headline. What was it here? That they are expanding the strike. And I don't know how long. I haven't read the article yet, but I think that that's going to be a big part of it. And I think that that's going to slow imports possibly, because a lot of these the parts lines and everything are all imported from Mexico and other parts, and then they're assembled here in the United States. So it's going to be interesting. I think that if I don't want to say that things going south are a bad thing or a good thing, excuse me, but disruption tends to bode well for the overall market. And I think that if there's any extended amount of time where this strike lays on, I think that it's going to throw a wrench into the freight mix. And I think that anytime that there is disruption, it can be a good thing. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of the strikes at all because I think that a lot more people are affected by it when the union goes on strike. Because I mean, I look at it, at least from our perspective, here in our industry with the Teamsters. In it, for example, like when Yellow went out of business, there was 22,000 union employees. That again, I still have not had anybody told me if they were all rehired at other union carriers or if they were all thrown on the street. But there was also about 10,000 non-union employees who lost their job as well in that mix. And I think that that's something that's not talked about when the unions go on strike is all of the non-union workers that are now also not working and everything else. And they're now without a paycheck and everything else. So it's like, I don't know. I try not to shit on the unions too much, but I'm not the biggest fan of unions, and it's stuff like this. And I'm not saying that I don't want people to get paid fairly. I do. I do. But if you really start looking into this stuff, it's really hard for me to come up with an argument supporting that they're for the workers when there's about 30,000 people in the trucking industry that are out of work that, to my knowledge, at the recording of this show, have not been replaced in other union roles by the union. If that has happened, please let me know. I would love to talk about that. But I think that anytime that there is a shift, I think that there's an opportunity that comes along with it on that. So, all right, Anthony Del Campo, trucking and logistics, high risk business reminds me of the EMS. The risks are high, but the rewards can be worth it. Very true, Anthony. Very true. Cody Miller says, I love our small shipping partners. Knowing we are assisting in their growth is especially rewarding. And that's the thing, man, is it's like, you're able to help in ways that you might not even know was a need for them in those moments, right? Like when you take on changes in a shipment, if there's shifts and stuff like that, and you're able to get out there and accommodate them, that saves them a ton of time and a ton of stress, right? And when you're a true transportation professional and you've been through this, and that's one thing that I think that some of the smaller shippers out there might get why people turn away that business. They're like, oh, it's just not worth my time. Everything's worth my time, right? Everything's worth my time. And when it comes down to it, if I'm really about adding value into those small shippers organizations, that's what it's all about to me, man. I want to help out in any way I can. I want to take my high level experience in this industry and bring that solution down to a small mom and pop shipper who, the sale of that shipment that you're moving from them covers their overhead for the month, right? And as a small business myself, I like working with those people. I like bringing that high level experience down to add value into their organization and needs that they might not even have recognized in those moments. So let me see here. Scott Watanabe, happy Friday, Freight fam. You are right, man. Oh, let's go here. Parker Cheney, where can I get a Freight Coach hat? Well, DM me, Parker, and send me your address, or let me know if you're going to be at the Technovations conference here or anything like that coming up in a couple of weeks, and I will bring you one. I don't sell these hats, you guys, at the end of the day because it's too much of a fucking hassle from a tax perspective to go out there, and I just don't want to deal with that. So if you guys do want Freight Coach hats, just DM me your addresses and I'll get them out in a timely manner and get them out to people. And I can send all that stuff out. Or if you guys are going to be at any of those conferences, let me know and I can bring them. I'm going to be at Freight Fest out in Houston, Texas next week. And if there's going to be people going out there for that, I can always bring some Freight Coach hats to hand out there. And then I'm going to be at Technovations here in a couple of weeks out in San Diego. Same thing. And then I'm also going to be at the NMFTA Cybersecurity Conference back in Houston, Texas in end of October as well. So I can bring some stuff out there. And again, you guys, if you guys want some of this stuff, dude, I'll gladly send you guys some hats and stuff if you're going to be out there. Again, it's just a fucking nightmare from a tax perspective for me. I just don't want to deal with it, right? I don't want to spend my time doing that. I want to keep slinging freight. I want to keep growing the media stuff, and adding an apparel line is just not what I want to do with at this time. So yeah, just let me know on that, and I can definitely put some in the mail. Yeah, Scott, you do, man. Consider yourself lucky because those will never come back. I got a couple of them. But yeah, man, got my dad's first international cab over on the first trucks. Maybe I will bring those back. Maybe I'll see if they can make a patch of them because I use branded bills now for my hats, and maybe I can do that. We'll see. Nick Sanders, what's up, brother? He says hats, heck yeah. Yeah, man. I did get another question, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to answer that because we only got a couple of minutes left. But I'll say this because this is a conversation that I have with myself frequently, and it's kind of tied into the first one about the sales process and everything. And it's like every opportunity, every day is don't beat yourself up about the results not coming in as fast as you want, right? Because you got to keep putting in the work no matter what, no matter the outcomes. This is tough, right? Building a business is really hard. Building a sustainable business is even harder. And then growing that business to where you're hiring people and adding people, it's really, really hard as well. And you sign up for these things though, right? Like I love this game. I love the game of freight. I love the game of entrepreneurship because business is the ultimate sport. And I'm in it to play it every single day. I'm in this for the long term. This isn't a lifestyle to me. This isn't a game to me. This is what I do every single day to support my family. And I was talking to my son about this last night, because, he's got some school work going on and, some hard things are happening in school for the first time. And, I told him, I'm like, buddy, this is a good thing. The hard times, the challenging times, the adversity, that's where all the growth happens. And I tell myself this every day, right? Because I get my fucking teeth kicked in all the time. It's challenging, you guys. And I tell myself this every single day. It's worth it, right? I chose this life. I would go through this every single day, and I do go through this every single day because, man, when I come home and I see my son and I see my wife, that's why I do it. I'll gladly get my fucking face beat in every single day in business to make this shit happen, to come home and see the smiles on their face, to know that they got a roof over their head, to know that they got vehicles, food, they got everything that they need. It's worth it to me every single day because I get to do this, right? I chose this life and I'm going to continue to live this life every single fucking day because I love this game more than anything. And I know that I'm on the right path because when things get hard, when things get challenging, whether it's mentally, physically, in your health, everything else, at least in my experience, that's when some serious growth is about to happen. It doesn't seem like it in those moments, you guys, because it seems like everything's falling apart. But what you don't see are those small incremental wins that you're getting. As Parker Cheney says, celebrate the small wins. It's really tough to notice them in those moments when it's seemingly everything is going south. But trust me when I say this, if it's challenging for me too. It's challenging for everybody. And we're all fucking fighting, right? So if you're out there not wanting to make those calls, just know this. I'm out there making those calls with you. I'm out there moving that freight with you. You're not alone in this shit. Anybody who's watching this show, this is a show for the people who are out there making things happen. And we're here to work with each other and help elevate each other's business. Because that's the whole point of this content, you guys. Every single day, I just want to add value to one person. As long as one person listens to this show and gets value in it and sees the value and applies it and sees a difference in their life, that's what it's all about every single day, you guys. So that is going to be it for today, you guys. This is going to be it. You need to speak on Monday mornings. Tune in Monday morning, brother. I'll be there on Nick every single Monday. That's what I say every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. You guys, I got a couple of guests on next week. We're going to be shooting shit, making stuff happen. I'm going to be out in Houston, Texas late next week. So it'll be, Freight Coach Roadshow will be full in effect. Don't worry. I will go live every single day, no matter what, because I get to, and I fucking love having you guys tune in every single day. So that's going to be it. As always, you guys, if you guys got value in what you heard here, subscribe to the show, you guys. Rank the show, get it out there, because if you see value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.